Today we're talking about people before pleasure, the idea that we seek connection over happiness. So why do we do things that don't make us happy? That's the question. Every day people stay in careers they dislike, nurture friendships way past their expiration date, or cling to family bonds that bring us more pain than joy. Why would anyone stay in a role, a relationship, or a situation that doesn't make them feel happy? What if the answer is that at our core, we want something deeper than pleasure? We want connection. Hey everyone, I'm Henry and you're watching Day 71 on my channel, Henry's Millions, where I dive deep into psychology and neuroscience, helping you explore and master the forces that shape your life. So let's take the classical view here, the pleasure principle. You've probably heard of that. For most of the last century, psychology, starting with Sigmund Freud, told us that our deepest drive is for pleasure and the avoidance of pain. It's the pleasure principle. We eat comfort food after a tough day. We binge content when we feel low. We seek out what feels good and run from discomfort as much as possible. So on the surface, this seems logical. Who wouldn't want to maximize enjoyment and keep suffering to a minimum? But a closer look at real lives tells us this can't be the whole story. So enter Fairbairn's revolutionary idea of people before pleasure. Fairbairn is a pivotal figure in modern psychoanalysis, and he flipped Freud's script and said humans are fundamentally object-seeking, not pleasure-seeking. Let's break that down for you. So by objects, Fairbairn meant other people and relationships. In his words, paraphrased, what people really crave is not just the satisfaction of needs, but the relationship itself. As he quoted one of his clients saying, "What I really want is a father, not just satisfaction." So our central need isn't just to feel good, it's to form and maintain relationships, even if they're difficult, imperfect, or at times even painful. So what are these object relationships and why do they matter? So Fairbairn's object relationships refer to how we build our inner world through our connections to others. From the moment we're born, our first relationships, usually with our parents or caregivers, shape not just how we feel, but who we are. A baby's need for its mother isn't simply about getting milk or basic comfort. It's about being seen, held, and known. The emotional connection lays the groundwork for how we'll approach every future relationship, every yearning to belong, to fit in, and to matter. Personality, then, is built not around maximizing pleasure, but around patterns of managing closeness, distance, and loss. As John Bowlby, the originator of attachment theory, showed, our need for connection is wired into our brains from infancy. It's a biological survival signal, as crucial to us as food or safety. When those ties are broken, the ache isn't trivial. It's our mind and body warning us that something essential is missing. Let's talk about the power of connection here, even when it hurts. Here's where Fairbairn's insight goes from theory to hard truth. People will choose painful relationships over no relationships at all. A child puts up with a critical parent. An adult stays with a partner who doesn't appreciate them. An employee endures a toxic boss because every negative connection feels better than abandonment. Sometimes it's better to feel rejected than to be invisible. Many of us endure these frustrations not because we are masochists, but because the deep ache of disconnection feels worse. Can you relate with that? Fairbairn's clinical work showed that individuals often cling to bad objects, memories, inner voices, or real-life bonds that hurt. Letting go might mean facing emptiness, and that is often more terrifying than enduring the pain. So how does the need for relationship shape human personality? And what does this mean for how we develop as people? So in childhood, our absolute dependence is on our parents, not just for survival, but for emotional validation. It means attachment becomes the engine of personality. And the patterns we learn, how much to trust, how much to give, how we handle disappointment, aren't just about seeking good feelings, but about managing attachment. Even achievements and self-sacrifice can be read as efforts to secure connection, approval, or redemption from important figures in our lives. The quote, ambition trap, much of modern work ethic and drive can be reframed as striving for connection, being valued, included, and loved. So let's talk about when relationships go wrong. It should be very interesting for you. If our relationships build us, ruptured relationships haunt us. Fairbairn argued that most psychological suffering isn't about forbidden pleasure, it's about broken bonds. Depression, anxiety, and compulsions often reflect our difficulties with internal bad objects. These are remnants of disappointing, rejecting, or lost relationships from childhood. And people may cling to anger, guilt, even trauma, because abandoning these feelings feels like losing the only connection left to a significant other, even if it's painful. There's many classic symptoms like obsessions, compulsions, and isolation. They reflect not a failed pursuit of happiness, but a desperate effort to avoid the void of loss. So why isn't happiness enough? There is limits to our self-help culture. Modern culture is obsessed with chasing happiness. You look at that global study they did on happiness some years back. Peak experiences and success. But why, despite all of our comforts and entertainment, do rates of loneliness and disconnection soar? Because, as Fairbairn showed, what gives life meaning is belonging, being seen, and mattering, not just short-term pleasure. And trying to fix unhappiness with self-help tips or performance hacks misses the deeper hunger for real connection. Therapy clients, for example, don't just want to feel better, they want to feel known and understood. Let's talk about the implications for your everyday life and if you go to therapy. Because Fairbairn's revolution isn't just theoretical, it changes how we help people and how we see ourselves. In therapy, the healing power is found not in figuring out why we crave pleasures or punish ourselves, but in building a new, real, and secure relationship, often first with the therapist, then with others. The relationship is the medicine. With society, healthy communities need real opportunities for connection. Social policy fails if it ignores our need to belong. And personal, if you put all efforts into success or comfort, but neglect genuine relationships, you won't be fulfilled. I think you know that. Nurturing real ties of friendship, family, or community offers far deeper satisfaction than any quick fix. So we are wired for people more than just pleasure. And here's a takeaway for you. We're built to connect first and foremost. Chasing happiness alone will always leave you hungry for something more. Even frustration or suffering can be more bearable than the emptiness of disconnection. So ask yourself, where in your life have you chosen relationships, good, bad, or complicated, over fleeting happiness? And how does your pursuit of meaning, achievement, or comfort really mask the deeper search for connection? So if you want to grow, heal, or simply understand yourself, look not just at what brings you joy or pain, but at the ties that hold you to others, to community, to purpose. And Fairbairn's reminder to us is the real building blocks of personality are our relationships, not our pleasures. And putting people before pleasure, it's not just moral, it's how we're wired. So I hope that insight challenges and reshapes the way you think today, the way you think, feel, love, and live. Thank you for joining me. And YouTube thinks you should watch this next video as best for viewer recommendation from my channel. Please take a second to like and subscribe to Henry's Millions. it motivates me to make these videos for you. Thanks.